mentioned, that's sort of the point of this segment. This story, I am certain that we're starting off with, would be something that we would discuss if it was not in this segment. The big news that's got everybody buzzing today, Tom Brady. Currently the Bucs quarterback, but at some point his career is going to come to a close. And there was a thought just a few months ago that his career might be coming to a close. But Brady is back, and he's already got lined up his next gig as Fox Sports is going to be bringing on Tom Brady as its NFL lead analyst whenever the time to hang up the cleats does come. There's no reports officially from Fox on the terms of the deal, but people aren't buzzing because Fox is going to bring Tom Brady onto its broadcast crew. They're buzzing because even though Fox didn't put out any numbers, the numbers are reportedly out there. And the rumored figures that Tom Brady is looking at for joining Fox Sports as its lead NFL analyst, 10 years, $375 million. The most lucrative, as you would probably imagine, contract in sports broadcasting history. It was announced by Fox CEO Lachlan Murdoch during a corporate investors call earlier today that he will be alongside Kevin Burkhardt, who will be the lead play-by-play guy whenever Brady does get to work. He will be an ambassador and focus on other projects as well going on outside. But the basic gist of it is he's getting 10 years, $375 million, richest announcer contract in history, to join Fox Sports whenever his career winds down.
Twice as much, right? How much are Aikman and Romo getting? 18 million, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what Aikman's getting. He's got to be getting at least as much as Romo.
Yeah, I think he is. I think that's twice as much as what Romo and Aikman, two of the lead analysts in the NFL, different networks, are getting right now. And that is amazing. He could end up making more money per year as a broadcast analyst as he's making right now as a 6-time Super Bowl quarterback because of just the way the money is.
He has made $302 million in his career, according to Roster Management System. He'll make another $15 million this year. And so over 23 years, if you count this upcoming season, that's $317+ million. That's before this announcer deal. So, yeah, Giselle was wearing the pants in that marriage as far as that money she was getting from modeling. I remember early on she was actually out, getting paid more than he was. I can't imagine that's the case anymore at this point.
Yeah, and then you got to think about his endorsements. Even though I'm sure that Subway deal is nothing to sniffle at, but now holy cow, $37.5 million. And no offense to TV people. I mean, look, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, all those guys work really hard at what they do, but it is not as hard of a job as being an NFL quarterback.
It's not as hard of a job as being a school teacher.
Yeah, What
did RG3 tell us? Robert Griffin III tell us about that? It's a little bit more difficult than sometimes you could imagine, even for somebody that knows the game. But yeah, I love Tom Brady.
That's why I was so surprised that John Gruden went back into coaching, because he'd been out for so long, and because you had a job that was immeasurably easier, and you're paying you as much money.
Should have had the benefit of hindsight.
I wonder
there.
if those emails would those emails then have occurred?
No. I don't think those would have come out.
Television.
Because then ESPN would have had to fire him. All these things.
I just don't know that there would have been the same type of motivation for it. Maybe they still would have come out. Maybe somebody felt like he would have gotten too big for his britches or something. But I do think that was as much a kind of insider deal as anything.
I think if you look at broadcasters, you look at Jimmy Johnson, not every single week, but flies out to L.A. From the southern tip of Florida, right? Southern tip of Miami to L.A.
From Isla Mirada.
And they get treated, they are like kings and or queens, and they are as much stars in some cases than the stars of the league of who they cover.
Well, and it's funny, Jimmy Johnson is the example I think of. He went to the Dolphins almost to prove to Jerry that they didn't need each other, which very clearly the last 30 years has proven that both of them do. But it wasn't going to happen. But then once he was down in Miami, he realized that he didn't want to do it anymore. And, all the hard work, because Jimmy was a grinder. Jimmy was the guy in there watching tape from some guy from Emporia State at 3:30 in the morning in the offseason. He was doing all that stuff. And then when he realized, I don't have to do this anymore and I can make a bunch of money and fish all day, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, meanwhile, the NFL schedule will